Hey everyone, this is Tide signing in with Sky PSA number 5. It's been a while, I know, but it's been a long time coming. Let's go ahead and get it started. I wanted today's PSA to be a bit different, so tonight I'm going to share a cocktail with you guys as I do the PSA. By the way, I've got these, aside from my headset, I've got these Apple iPhone earbuds in because I wanted to listen to music at the same time while I'm drinking, like I always do, but I did not want the music to get into the video because I'm going to be uploading it onto YouTube, so that explains that. Alright, so tonight's drink, is going to be a blue margarita. I mean, it's not my favorite drink, but I did want something a bit more presentable on the camera, so I decided upon the blue margarita. Alright, I'm going to share with you guys the formula for the blue margarita. So, a blue margarita is going to call for, of course, we've got our base liqueur, we've got the tequila. I am using tequila reposado. It is a rested tequila, not aged, rested. That's been rested in white oak barrels. So, blue margarita calls for 1.5 ounces of tequila. And next, we've got, to give it that nice blue tinge, we've got blue curacao. So we're going to put in 0.5 ounces of blue curacao. And the final element for our blue margarita is the, let's see, yes, lime juice. We're going to be using some fresh pressed lime juice. 1 ounce. 1 ounce is that. Alright, so I've got my Boston Shaker mixing glass all prepped. I've got some ice in here. And so first I like to start off with the base liqueur, and that is the 1.5 ounce of tequila. So let's see here. Let's do I like to do the 0.5 first. I'm trying to be careful. I'm not used to mixing my drinks while sitting down. And I'm at my desk right now, so I'm going to do the 0.5 first. I'm going to do the 1 ounce, so that will make 1.5 ounces of tequila. I'm pouring into my mixing glass right here. Alright, so that's our base liqueur. Next, we're going to put in the blue curacao. 0.5 ounce of blue curacao. I have to try and keep in mind that I'm doing this for an audience, so I have to keep it up to level with the camera. Alright, so 0.5 ounce of blue curacao. Oh, almost. There we go. Set that aside. Add that to the mix. Okay. I should have brought a rag here. And then we're going to add the 1 ounce of fresh pressed lime juice. Here we go. 1 ounce fresh pressed lime juice. In you go. Alright. So that's everything. I get the Boston Shaker tin on there. Give it a nice tight seal. Shake away. Right. Let me put the, before I do the pour, I'm going to put the lime juice away, and I'm going to get my chilled martini glass. I'll be back. Alright. Oh. Forgot about this. Okay, we've got our chilled martini glass. We're going to do the pour soon. Put my sleeves up. Alright. Nice and blue. Just the way I like it. Get my strainer. Put it on top of the shaker tin, and we're going to do the pour. I almost forgot. I've got to rim the glass with the salt. So I've got my tin of or my tub of salt. I'm gonna rim the martini glass. Oh no, I forgot my cocktail. Forgot my cocktail napkin. I just thought about that right now. All right, so we've got that. Let me get. Let me grab the cocktail napkin. All right, we got our cocktail napkin. Here goes. Ready for the pour. Okay, here we go. Trying to make sure the camera gets this. So tonight, by the way, tonight I am I just knocked off work not too long ago, and tomorrow I have the day off because I believe it's National Liberation Day here in South Korea, so I get a nice day off, and you know, you'll see me in game, which will be rare because of the huge time zone difference. For those of you who don't know, who are new to the guild, I teach English in South Korea and have been teaching English here for over 3 years now, and I plan to go back home to the States March of next year. Alright, I am going to clear out some space here, and then I'm going to enjoy my drink. So, give me a few. I'll be back. Ooh. Alright, now I can finally drink. Let's see. Let's have my character drink at the same time. What am I going to drink here? What did I pick up? Ah, Hearthglen Ambrosia. I'll drink to that. Ooh, okay. Getting the blurred effect on the screen already. Alright. Let's go ahead and get started with our Jealous Sky PSA number 5. Hope you enjoyed that mixing bit. Cheers. Salud. Oh yeah. It's a great cocktail, if I may say so myself. Blue margarita. Alright. Let's go ahead and get started with the actual PSA. I'm going to have to put in a timestamp for this. So, what I wanted to discuss with everyone first and foremost was our healing situation. We have so many people wanting to heal, and we just don't have enough damage dealers in guild. I mean, we are still rebuilding, and I'm still trying my best when it comes to recruitment, but it's kind of tough because of the obvious ginormous time difference because of the time zone I'm currently living in. But I've been lucky. I've been lucky to find others to join our cause. Still working on it, though. I'd still like to get a lot more damage dealers. So with all these people wanting to heal, I can't allow everyone to heal. I feel bad having to have asked people to fall back to dealing damage instead of healing, even though that's their main spec. But there are some people I've noticed who are much better at dealing damage than the others if I were to ask them to go as damage. So please keep that in mind. If I ask people who would like to heal to try going as damage, please understand when I do ask. And I do like to keep it fair for those of you who I do ask to go as damage. I always allow you to roll for gear that's healing oriented as well. So I do like to do that as well. Also keep in mind, when it comes to heroic mode, as I mentioned before, just this past weekend, that I'm going to be keeping our raid group a lot smaller for heroic mode progression at least. So please understand when I'm not able to take everyone that's wanting to heal. And that goes for DPS as well. So do understand. We're still growing. I don't want us to be a giant guild. I've always favored a small to mid-sized guild. So I'm working on it. I still need to get more damage dealers. All right. So that is the healing situation. Oh, one more thing. I also like to keep in mind healers who are committed to the guild, not just on raid nights, but also on non-raid nights. I'd like to see effort being put in on non-raid nights as well. So please keep that in mind. So I'm looking for healers who are signing up constantly, or they're joining us for non-raid night events as well, like such as especially the Mythic Pluses, and healers who are consistent, if not with attendance on raid nights, but with attendance with the Mythic Pluses, or just being social in the guild. I do appreciate that. Or with contributions to the guild keep. Alright, I'll say no more about the healing situation. Let's move on to raid awareness. So, another thing I see needing to be improved in guild, and I've mentioned it before, it's not just, I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, I'm not pointing blame. Myself, I do make mistakes as well, and I do always apologize. I do always fess up for my mistakes. So, raid awareness is what we really need to work on. So that has to do with mechanics, especially. Sometimes I feel like members aren't aware of mechanics, even though I go over the boss fights. I do like to give intel the first time we're in there, or when we have new recruits. I will do that. But sometimes I feel like some people aren't even aware of the mechanics, or they forget about it, which is fine, because I forget about mechanics as well. So I always like to brush up on my boss intel before raid nights. But please be aware of raid mechanics. If you have questions, please ask. Please ask. I don't mind at all. Positioning is a big thing. Not just damage dealers. I see, because I do record our fights, and I like to watch over them. And give me a second. Make the AFK tag go away. All right. I do like to watch over our raid fights, and I do see it's not just the damage dealers. It's us tanks as well, and the heals as well, the healers. So positioning in raids is very, very vital. So please be aware of positioning as well. And also timers. Make sure you are using something like Bigwigs, an add-on like Bigwigs, or Deadly Boss Mods, DBM. Please pay attention to the timers. Do not rely on officers or myself in Discord to announce things such as everyone switch to Maiden in the Fallen Avatar boss encounter. A lot of the times, even when we are announcing, okay, everyone switch to Maiden, or everyone get off of Maiden, we're still seeing people who are not quick to switch to Maiden, or quick to switch off of Maiden, which is really bad. Do keep that in mind. Remember that as well. Okay, so timers. Keep an eye on the timers as well. Don't just rely on us to announce it for you in Discord, because even when we do, I notice a lot of people are not even paying attention. So that's something that you need to bring. You need to bring on your own to our raid fights. All right, and finally, I have mentioned this a lot, but especially only for the heroic Goroth fight. It's always think 2 steps ahead. I think heroic Goroth boss encounter is the best example, because there's just so much going on, and I know that's the case for a lot of the raid fights, but in that fight, we have the shattering star that goes onto one person, and then we have the comet, what is it? I believe it's a comet. It's a medium-sized circle that spawns on random people. There's that. And then, of course, there's the Infernal Burning. That's the raid-wide AoE damage that he does on the entire raid. So all of those mechanics requires you to just think 2 steps ahead. Always anticipate that one of those damaging or deadly mechanics is going to target you. So always think 2 steps ahead. You're going to be like a rogue. You're going to think, okay, if I get Shattering Star, which two infernal spikes am I going to use to mitigate the damage that's coming onto me? Because that damage is also going onto the raid, not just you. And you're also at the same time thinking, where am I going to bring my my comet, the meteor or whatever? It's that medium-sized circle. Where am I going to bring that? I don't want to bring it to other people. I don't want to bring it to other spikes. And then there's the Infernal Burning. Where is my escape route? Where am I going to run to hide for the Infernal Burning? So always think 2 steps ahead, please. Alright, so we have the healing situation off my list, raid awareness off my list. Now we're going to go with damage output. This is a very, very big one for our guild, for our raid team right now. Damage output. So, I know a lot of our guildies are... They even outgear me, to be honest, and I'm raid lead. I'm only, I believe I'm 9. I suck at numbers. I believe I'm 907. I'm around 907 at eye level, and most of our guildmates are like 913, 915 plus, and with a couple of you, like 920s even, 930s. I know we do have some guild recruits who are just at 900, that's fine. But even then, even at 900 eye level, you should be able to hit 1 million DPS and sustain that as well. That should be easy. Now, if you're struggling, well, first and foremost, this goes without saying, but make sure you have your gems and enchants, because I do like to look up people on WoW Armory on our raid nights before we go in, and I notice a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but a good number of people do not even have gems or enchants. So please work on that. Now, we don't have much in the guild keep as far as gems and enchants go, but we can help with what we have, so long as we see that you are putting in effort into the guild. That means you're joining us for Mythic Pluses, you're being social in guild chat or in Discord, or you're contributing to the guild keep, whether it be through herbs or gold. Anything like that is very much appreciated. Alright, and then, so if it's not gems and enchants, here's a big one. It's rotation. We're noticing that people are not, they don't seem to have their rotation down for their spec and class, so please look up your rotation. I mentioned this before. There's a very good YouTuber, his name's Preach. Well, his tag is Preach. He likes to go by Preach. Mike Preach Wow. Just YouTube that, Mike Preach Wow. He does class guides, he does class and spec guides, and he will, even for damage, he'll go over rotations. He's very, very well known in the WoW community. Mike Preach Wow, look him up. I'm not saying he's the best for every class guide, but he's definitely way up there. You can find your own if you're not, if you don't like him much. But I myself, I like his guides. Another really great tip I have is to look up your class Discord. You know, we use Discord for our guild raid nights, but did you know that there are Discord servers dedicated to not only your class but to your spec as well? Lately, I've been enlisting the help of other protection paladins through the Paladin Discord. So just Google this. Look up your. Let's say you're a Shadow Priest. So just Google Shadow Priest Discord. I'm sure you're going to find a Discord channel or server dedicated to your class. I guarantee you. So please look that up. That'd be great help for damage output. All right, so that's damage output off of our list. Now, one final announcement for our PSA is Loot Council. So, just last weekend, we downed Heroic Goroth. I know he's just the first boss, but I'm still very proud, and I know we can do more. We had a very close kill, by the way, on Harshatan, so I'm hoping to get him down this coming weekend. All right, so Loot Council, what is that? In previous expansions, we had, so you already know by now our loot rules for normal mode. It's always been lowest roll wins, and that has been the case for our guild ever since Lich King expansion. So I'm very, very adamant about keeping that loot rule. I like it. But we've had no restrictions on how many pieces of gear you could win. So if you've always won multiple pieces of gear, I would never say, nope, you can't take it because you already won a piece of gear. No. For normal mode, it's always been like that. It's kind of a free-for-all, but still, whoever gets the lowest roll always wins. But the raid environment that we have fostered all these years, people winning multiple rolls, they would always give it to the people they beat in the loot rolls. So yeah, that's been a nice thing. But you can always have that with new guild recruits. I mean, you've got that camaraderie that's still being built up, which is understandable. Now, for heroic mode, what we've always done in the past is we've had loot council. Now, the way loot council works is there's an equal amount of officers and there's an equal amount of non-officers that I will put up, that I will set up on our loot council for that raid weekend. Now, I could make loot council for a month or just for the weekend. I'm not sure how I'm going to set it up for this current raid tier, but just know loot council is always comprised of an equal amount of officers and non-officers. And what we do is, again, this is only for heroic mode raids. So what we do is we kill all the bosses we can, and then at the end of our raid, that's when I will initiate the process for distributing loot. And to do so, we get together in front of the rest of the raid, and we'll drop down a channel, and we'll have a discussion in Discord about who should get what piece of loot. And I think it's fair to have an equal amount of officers and non-officers contributing to this endeavor of the Loot Council. So we will take into account not just consistency with raid attendance, because I do understand that there are some raid members, some raid team members, who because of their real life schedule, they're not able to join us for both raid nights, the primary raid night and the secondary raid night. So we take that into consideration, because it would be unfair if we don't allow them piece of gear just because they're only able to join us for one raid night. We understand that real life is always priority. We do take other things into consideration as well. People who are active in guild. So let's say someone can only join us for one raid night a week, but they're always with us on non-raid nights. You know, they're joining us for Mythic Pluses, or they're always contributing to the guild keep, whether that be for feast materials or flasks and potion materials and enchants, gems, things of that sort. We take that into consideration as well. We take into consideration people who are active with the guild, whether that be through Discord or through guild chat. So please keep in mind, Loot Council, I'd like it to be as fair as possible by having an equal amount of officers and non-officers, and we're going to switch it up either every weekend or every weekend or every month. So that's the way it's going to be for our heroic mode raids. Is we're going to have loot council. No more rolls. It's just loot council. All right. That's the end of our Jealous Sky PSA number 5. Again, it's been a long time coming, and I look forward to raiding with you all this coming weekend. I hope to see you all tomorrow, actually. I'm going to try and make it to the Mythic Pluses that were scheduled, because, again, tomorrow it's very rare. I do have the day off. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys either tomorrow or at our upcoming raid this weekend. By the way, I am in, if you're wondering what tavern I'm in, I am inside the, I believe it's the Golden Keg here in Stormwind. It's in the Dwarven District. It's not my favorite inn, but it was a last minute creative idea that I wanted to do, is mix a cocktail for you guys while I do this Jealous Sky PSA number 5. It is a bit of a longer one because of the drink, the mixing of the drink. It's not my favorite inn/bar. My favorite bar, I think, is in Orgrimmar on the Horde side. They've got an amazing tavern. I believe it's in the Valley of Honor, at the very back of Orgrimmar. It's a very quaint, very tiny tavern/inn, but I love the back area. Like, I don't know if you can see my mouse icon over here, or my cursor that's spinning around, but the back of the tavern in Orgrimmar, I forget the name of it, the back is just this really, really tall wall, and it's got all kinds of glass bottles with different shades, different colors, and it's a very dimly lit in the actual tavern space, but that back wall full of glass bottles of liqueurs is very bright, so your focus immediately goes to the back wall full of the glass bottles of liqueurs of various shades and colors. So it's my favorite one. I'd like to find I'm pretty sure there's a really awesome tavern somewhere out there in the world of Azeroth, or Outlands, or Draenor. I'm sure there is one. I've got to find it. So if anyone knows of any awesome taverns, bars, pubs in this game, let me know. Do let me know. I'm always a sucker for exploration, anything of that sort. Alright, thank you so much for chiming in to this Jealous Guy PSA number 5. This is Tides, signing off. Take it easy. Blue Margarita.